Hi, I'm Stuart Taylor. I used to do a television show called Going Nowhere Slowly, which is how most creatives feel during this pandemic. But there are a couple of creatives that have kind of stepped out of the mold and really stepped up their game. And I'm chatting to one of those creatives right now. It is none other than Thenjiwe. How are you?
I am good. I'm doing a lot better. Uh,
Nice.
yeah,
I firstly got to ask, where are you right now?
I am in England, in London.
Because I love how you say, I'm going home, but no one actually knows what home is. Your home can be England, your home can be South Africa, it's many things. So I want to kick off right at the beginning. You were traveling between countries during a lockdown. What on earth was that like?
It was very scary. When lockdown happened, I was unfortunately in the USA. So I've been on lockdown more than a lot of you guys and I was in New Jersey, 15 minutes from New York, where everything was happening. First 3 weeks were fine. We thought it was just going to be 3 weeks and everything goes to normal. Getting phone calls, oh, this show has been postponed, this event has been postponed, until after a month when everything started getting cancelled. It was no longer being postponed.
Right.
At first, it was postponed with a date, and then
Right.
postponed indefinitely. So you don't know when it's postponed until, and then it was cancelled. And the worst thing is, I had just gotten myself a little place in the US because I wanted to, this year, it was my year. My pastor had told me, this is the year. This is the year of everything happening. So I'd not only got in myself a little place there, bought new furniture, and started a business. I have a sister who also lives in the USA. I had started a business with her because I saw an opportunity, because I get a lot of opportunities to go and MC for Africans who live in the diaspora. So I was like, sometimes these people have too much money for their weddings, but the event decorators are not good. So I bought a lot of stuff to start and hire out to weddings. And now nobody's getting married.
There goes that whole business. There goes that business. Oh my goodness, man! What was the feeling of? Because I watched the video. I mean, Thenjiwe, obviously a very famous vlogger. I watched the video of you walking through the airport, ghost town, no one there.
Let me tell you the story of how I even got to fly. When we started with everything being postponed to a later date, and then it was postponed indefinitely, and then it was cancelled. And then we could tell that nobody really knows when this thing is going to finish. I hit a very, like, mentally, I hit the lowest of the low. I wasn't eating. If I look at my photos from those 3 weeks, I'm like, yo, maybe even Mr. Rona had visited me here. It's just that I did not know. I look like I had Rona. And so I was stressing a lot because my son, I have one son and he lives in England.
Right.
With his father. So I needed to find a way to get there. That was stressing me more. I was like, if this thing happens, it has to happen when I'm with my family at least. There were no flights. Nobody was able to travel. I was like, something has to happen. So I contacted the embassy. And I knew South Africa was less likely to help me. The beauty of having dual citizenship.
Smart
the best
lady.
Investment I ever did was to marry for my British passport, but we are not
there. And it paid off.
Paid off. When I contacted them, they told me there is a flight that is leaving. I think it was about 11. They said there's a flight leaving on Friday. And then about 30 minutes later, they said, can you be at JFK at about 3:30? There is a flight leaving at about 5. So I came back with a flight that was carrying medical supplies.
Okay. That explains why there was no one else in that terminal, because that was you were on a cargo plane, basically.
Yes. But it was a normal plane. It was a normal big plane, but it was a cargo plane. And it was so scary being at the airport and the airport being that empty.
Yes.
It was.
Was there even crew? Was there even crew on the flight?
There was. Actually, we had more crew than I've ever seen. We had about 8 pilots, just in case one starts coughing.
You never know. One little then they replace you. Listen, I was very pleased at the end of the story when I heard, okay, Thenjiwe she's back, she's with her son, it's all good. And was that at least a bit of a I know you were talking about being at a very low point, not wanting to create. Once you got back to normal, once you had knew that your son was safe and you guys were together, did that kind of spark a bit more creativity from that point on?
Yes, and the main reason that I'm creating, like I do my YouTube live show now every day, and it's to avoid spending time with my son because it's so annoying.
I know. I've closed the doors. I'm like, boys, I'm on a call. I can't speak to you now.
So now I came here to be with him, and now I have to work every day just to avoid being with him.
How old is your son?
He's 15.
Ay. Okay. Yeah, I feel for you. Talk about creating. I mean, you are one of the most prolific producers of content. I mean, amazing. You don't let anything pass you by. If the president says something, bang, you've got a meme. If anything is in the paper, you there shooting your sketches. Have you sort of trained yourself to just be present and constantly looking for the opportunities, or do you wait for inspiration to strike? How do you manage to churn out that much material?
I think when I see content, I get excited because I come from a corporate background where I couldn't just put anything online. And now I'm not scared to be fired. Nobody can fire me. So I can say anything about anyone and about everything. So I think that's part of the excitement. I just get so excited. I no longer have to gossip with my friends about things or my feelings. I can just put it online, put it out there.
When did you start seeing success on YouTube?
Hey, I wish I had been smart. I started YouTube in 2015. And for me, it was just a platform to archive my videos. And about almost a year after that, YouTube sent me a letter and told me I was a YouTube partner. Back then, you didn't have to apply to be a YouTube partner. And I had to send my address and register with AdSense. And then they sent me a PIN for the AdSense. I did it and forgot about it. And then, next thing I checked, I had money. It came from YouTube. But then, of course, I had other things, like I was doing TV work, I was doing stand-up comedy. So I would just post whenever I posted, because I do a lot of videos. But most of my videos end up being more popular on WhatsApp. WhatsApp groups, people will share on WhatsApp, and I put on Facebook, put on Instagram. But now I've really realized that we are wasting time. YouTube is the way to go for any content creator, because not only do you own your intellectual property, but you also make money. And I've realized right now the money is not so good because a lot of companies are not advertising. Most of the businesses want to be seen insensitive during this time. They're busy advertising their products. But I saw in 2016 that YouTube was good, but I didn't take it seriously. And then it went down. But now I'm like, actually, one can survive just on YouTube revenue. And I wish more South African content creators could take advantage of that, because if most of us do it, then it becomes an industry. Because YouTube is not, I always tell even my subscribers that YouTube is not a relationship. You can subscribe to me, subscribe to Stuart, subscribe to someone else. And so the more of us who are producing especially decent content, the more our subscribers move from these other platforms where we have a lot of people following us, but we're not making a cent out of it. So sometimes I look at the numbers I get on YouTube or on Facebook. I'm like, why can't these people come and join me on YouTube? It's because we still need to do audience development in South Africa. Last year, I was touring around Africa, and I met some Africans who are full-time YouTubers. One of the guys, well, I almost said his name. I won't say his name because I'm going to tell you how much he makes. He used to be an engineer in China, and he left it to become a YouTuber. All he does is he goes around Africa and he shows the world the Africa that they never see. And he makes on average, because I remember this one day, I was happy that I had made $1,500 on YouTube. They pay on the 21st of every month. So we just happened to be together with these YouTubers the day after we got paid. So we're talking about, and then he was so upset. I had just been so happy. And he was so upset. He was saying, no, he needs, because he has a crew. He travels with guys that shoot him. And one of them hadn't gotten a visa to come on this trip with them. So he was upset. He was saying, I need to replace him. I can't be having someone who keeps having problems because it's affecting my work. Look, this month I only made $10,000. I was like, what? US dollars? Are we talking Zimbabwean dollars? He was like, no, US dollars. And he even showed me and he said, this is one of my worst months.
I'm blown away.
To get to that level where I'm producing and uploading every day and creating content until we get to that level. But what we're struggling with in South Africa is the audience.
Yes.
Because the word they use is subscribe, whereas on Facebook, Instagram, it's follow me. But when it's subscribe, people assume there's a catch.
Yes. I've heard you say that. I was like, why does Thenjiwe always say subscribe? It's not going to cost you any money. It's not going to cost. And I get it now.
And if you have not subscribed, please do subscribe. I know a lot of South Africans are scared of subscribing on YouTube because you guys think that there's a catch. They're gonna want us to pay. It is free to subscribe. Please do subscribe.
Yes, and because the word subscribe does have that, you do think, oh, is what am I paying? What is it going to cost me?
Because we live on credits. Remember the magazine subscriptions, they were never free.
Yes.
Remember when mobile phones came, subscribe to copy this tune. And then next thing, every time you put airtime, your money is gone. Certain TV channels at after midnight. To get a video of Togo without her underwear, subscribe. And then the next thing, every month you put on airtime, your money is gone. So they assume it's the same. Maybe YouTube should use a different word for South Africa.
I want to ask you so it does become a question of the two things I would say that I would want to talk about is, number one, how do you grow those followers? But before we talk about growing the followers, actually developing the content. Do you find a framework? Because your new one is the Quarantine Diaries. Do you find a framework and then just populate that? Because it seems like you've had different television shows, you know what I mean? So it's Judge Thenjiwe and then it's the Quarantine Diaries. Is that an easier way to create and be prolific with content? Come up with a concept and then just do one every week or every other week?
Yeah, I think that is, especially with quarantine. It's a word that most people didn't even know. But now everyone is quarantined. So it makes people realize, oh, let's go and watch. I am quarantined. I'm locked down. Let me go and watch it. And with Judge, it came from my background as a lawyer. And also I come from KwaMashu. So when you say court, judge, everyone has been there. So they relate.
I don't want to ask for what. All sorts of things.
You know where I come from. You can only say two things to a man who's wearing a suit. It's either rest in peace or may the defendant rise. That's the only time the man will be wearing a suit. They're either going to court or it's their funeral.
Or they... How long have you been in sort of dual living between South Africa and the UK?
I have been in the UK for a long time. I came to the UK in 2004, but I got a place in South Africa in 2015. So since 2015, even though I had a home, I would come home and visit. But to be living permanently in both places, it started from around 2015 when I started doing comedy full time.
It's interesting because, and the reason I ask is because you really do, even though you are global in terms of your work is global, you've still got such a quintessential South African vibe about you. You know what I mean? It's like it's beautiful in terms of how much it's rooted in your South Africanness.
You know, that is so funny because I have a sister. She came here to visit me once. She stayed 1 week. It was 7 years ago. She still has the British accent. And every other sentence, it's when I was in London.
It was a very powerful week that she spent there.
Yeah, so she took a photo outside Buckingham Palace. You could swear she had dinner with the Queen. The way she took.
The Queen had cooked. The Queen herself had cooked for her.
So I think these things are by choice, because especially when it comes to the way you carry yourself and your accent, we know a lot of doctors who go and study either in China or India. They don't come back saying, "Hey, Stuart, my friend, I was in India for 7 years." No. In fact, sometimes people go to China, come back with an American accent.
It's like I said, listen, I know many people like that. I know people who got on a plane and they got the accent on the way to the country.
On the way to the destination.
On the way to Australia, you're speaking in an Australian accent. It's incredible.
And sometimes people go to countries that don't even speak English, and they come back with a British accent. And you know, someone went to a country like Hungary or Poland, when they keep saying, "I went overseas." They never tell you which country.
Yes, yes.
Overseas.
I want to talk to you about your followers very quickly, because I mean, you are very, very close to 100,000 followers on YouTube anyway, 100,000 subscribers, not followers. And you spoke earlier about your videos being shared on WhatsApp groups. Do you think that doing that helps build your number of subscribers?
No.
You think it takes away?
It takes away because people will get the video anyway. If people were sharing a link to my YouTube channel via their WhatsApp to their church WhatsApp group, then it would make a difference. But now there are so many people who don't even know about YouTube, but they have all my videos. Yes.
It's something we've got to figure out. We've got to remedy that. I mean, but your advice would be to people who are in quarantine, creatives right now, that YouTube is the one to focus on.
It is. While you're waiting for your Netflix deal, do YouTube. Not only will it help you pay some bills and encourage your audience, because we are the ones who need to tell them to come and follow us on YouTube. And also, all of us can be on YouTube. There's no limit. It's not for certain people. And it can grow. I know Africans who've even reached 1 million subscribers.
Right.
And so we need to. And sometimes it makes me so upset, Stuart, that I find people who are not even comedians who are on YouTube making money using comedian stuff.
Right.
And I'm like, why are the guys who are funny not here? And the unfunny guys are taking their material or their stuff and they are putting it on here.
Right. How technically savvy do you have to be?
It's very user-friendly. If you can use a mobile phone, you can use it. I think this thing is all in the mind. Like, for example, you see how easy Facebook is to use. But if Facebook was a subject that you had to write in matric, people would be failing Facebook, because it would be in their mind that it's difficult. And any question you have about YouTube, there's someone who's done a video about how to do it on YouTube.
I guess so. Yeah. Yeah. No, I mean, it is a very useful resource. It's something that I must be honest, I've been very guilty of not investing time and effort in. And after this conversation, I'm definitely going to
I hope you do.
put a
And
bit
if
more
you have
focus
any
there.
questions, please do ask me. Like this show you are doing, it's a beautiful show and it needs to live on platforms such as YouTube.
Right.
And you have an added advantage because you do your stuff in 100% English. And English is understood by a lot more people around the globe. It's not like you have Zulu followers.
Sure. I do appreciate, I must be honest, I do appreciate the fact that you've subtitled a lot of your videos now. Like, Thenjiwe, click on the subtitles, please. I was watching the one yesterday about the baby shower, not wanting to go to the baby shower because it could be your man that got her pregnant.
Yeah, you can't. If you want me at your baby shower, can I see the DNA? Especially if I don't even know who your man is. Who made you pregnant? I don't want to end up being the one who gets the surprise.
Thenjiwe, I love how irreverent you are. Did you? I want to know the getting ordained during the lockdown. Tell me that's real. Tell me that's for real.
It is real. It is real. I was gonna do it anyway. Remember how I told you I had started this wedding business?
Yes. Oh, so you can officiate the wedding.
Yes. So I wanted it to be a one-stop everything.
I'll be your priest. I'll MC the gig and I'll hire the glasses as well.
Have you been to a wedding where you have to wait for 4 hours because the priest is not there, and they're only paying you for an hour? So I was like, let me be everything. If someone is late, I'll do it.
You make me laugh so much. Thank you so much for brightening our days during these trying times. You are certainly inspiration when it comes to creating content. So power to you for not going nowhere slowly. You're doing amazing things. Shot, man, and Shot for your willingness to share your insights. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. And I hope I'm going to be seeing you join our YouTube family and we all grow together.
I'm there. We're going to cross-pollinate and do many, many things.
And I don't want to be making this money alone because I don't want you guys to be asking me for loans. Come and make.
No. I also need to be going. Oh, when I bought the house in South Africa in 2015, and I bought my flat and I bought my place in the States. No. I'm on you. I see where you're going over here.
And also the other thing is, we don't even know when we are ever going to go back on stage.
True.
And even when we are ready, is the audience going to be ready?
That's the thing. So we create over here. We're going to create over here. Thenjiwe, thank you so much for your time. Thanks for your generosity. I'll chat to you soon. Enjoy the UK.
Thank you so much for having me. And best of luck with the rest of the quarantine. Enjoy level 3A.
Yeah, as long as they keep the bottle stores open for at least 3 days a week, we're okay.
You take care. Thank you so much for having me.
Cool, man. Good chatting.